we got to figure out not only what the point of the scene is, we also got to figure out the style it is. What is the goal of this piece?
Right.
The goal to move us and get us to feel? Is it supposed to get big laughs? Is it supposed to amuse us? It's supposed to make us think? And you can kind of ask yourself questions to help guide you in figuring out which one of those it is. So, for example, by definition, a drama would be a normal view of people in dramatic situations, and the goal is to move the audience and get them to feel. So you're trying to evoke emotion from your audience, right? In a farce, you're talking about very sort of quirky, eccentric, bizarre characters in very sort of bizarre, heightened, quirky, heightened, comedic, funny situations, and your goal is to get a big laugh. So
like The New Girl? Is that a farce?
yeah, probably. I haven't seen it, but any sitcom. If you see a show called Veep, for example, that would actually be what's called a comedy of manners, which happens to also be one of the farces. A comedy of manners is heightened comedic characters in heightened comedic situations. You are trying to get big laughs, but at the same time, you're trying to poke fun at a particular segment of society, hence politics. Okay? So the jokes are going to stem around that. Well, if you see a movie called As Good as It Gets, or Sleepless in Seattle, or When Harry Met Sally, these are all comedies. And the reason we know this is not a farce is because I'm not trying to get uproarious laughter from your audience. I'm trying to amuse them, kind of like chuckle a little bit.
That's why I figured the scene was too, like, it wasn't heightened situation.
It was not. You're right. But right now, I'm not really laughing.
Right.
So we do have an issue there too.
Right.
And so once we figure out it's one of the comedies, then we have to figure out why the scene is funny. What's so funny about it? And then you have to kind of figure out your basic joke, which is your running gag of the scene. It's the repeated joke that we see. We'll see one joke after another, and we're always kind of chuckling at the same thing. If I have some example, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say that I'm a teacher, and yet I'm teaching students, but I know nothing. And I'm teaching terrible lessons. Then that would be sort of your classic idiot in charge joke. Mm-hmm. Frequently, you'll see this joke with a cop, or a psychiatrist, or the principal of a school. These are frequently going to be your idiot in charge jokes. Okay? There's another common joke where we have, two buddies, and, they're kind of trying to solve a caper, and both of them are morons, and one guy's an idiot, and the other guy's even more of an idiot for following that idiot. Mm-hmm. And that joke, so you'll see that in a movie like Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. And that joke is the blind leading the blind.
What was that one with Mr. Pink and Mr. White and Mr. Black?
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, so that was actually a black comedy.
Oh, okay.
But it is one of the farces, and frequently those jokes would be also, the blind leading the blind. We have one guy who's a moron, and he's sort of leading, and the other guy's even more dumb for following him. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it can switch, where the dumber guy becomes the smarter, and the other guy follows him. In any case, why is this scene funny? And that's what you have to do in order to figure out your basic joke. And how do I do that? I start by saying, in my own words, I say to myself, well, why is this scene funny? If somebody asks me, we're laughing and we say, this scene's funny, and the other guy says, yeah, it is funny. Why? And the answer would be, what? Why is this scene funny? The hardest style to play, but you can learn it. If you have a sense of humor, you can learn it.
Yeah.
But just know that it is the hardest style to play, because we have to deal with all of the principles of drama, and then we throw additional principles on top.
Right.
And the characters, even in a comedy or a farce, still have to be believable enough that the audience can connect to them.
Right.
So it's not a bunch of gags. Otherwise, you have a show like Saved by the Bell, or Disney. That's classic sort of shtick. Or Saturday Night Live, where you're talking about sketches. It's not like you're trying to get the audience to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Those shows are the ones that last, like Veep, The Office, Cheers, Frasier. All of those shows, you're watching and you're going, oh, I know somebody like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I should be doing here. I should be going, oh, I've been there.
Right.
Or I know somebody like him. Or I've been in that situation where that person did that to me, because you've created a real person. So, you'll get better at it, breaking down the basic joke, but the first thing you do is just in your own words. Why is the scene funny?